What's up, guys? It's your boy Jalen back at it with another, what is this show called? Fuck. P Valley, episode 6 recap. I'm getting good at this shit now. This is my 6th one, or my 5th one, and I'm getting pretty good. I'm feeling confident. Like, got my setup already, got my lighting, got my video set up. I'm looking crisp. Everything got the waves coming in. You see it? Got my notes. I wrote a lot of notes for this episode. It's like 4 pages of notes right here. I'm going crazy. So a lot of shit happened this episode. Let's start off with what happened last episode. Or at least start off with the pre-episode recap. Pre-episode recap, they talk about how the club is getting foreclosed on. The Pink's getting foreclosed on. They got the foreclosure notice. They have a week to come up with 50 stacks. The mayor and Clifford end up getting into it at the barbershop, kind of beefing about, because Clifford's telling the mayor, like, nah, the Pink's not getting shut down. The mayor's like, yeah, it is. So that happened last episode. Autumn and Mercedes started working together with the fraud thing, or at least they agreed to start working with each other doing the fraud scam type shit. I don't know if it's fraud or if it's her money that she's taking from her man's account. Some shit like that. But that was last episode. A lot of other shit happened. I'm just referring to what they showed us in the pre-episode recap. So now the episode starts off, we see Mercedes and Autumn Night. They're getting straight to the scam and shit. They got the fake IDs from Mercedes' boy who's on house arrest. And they just get straight to the scam and shit. They're going by Thelma and Louise. They are looking like a little fake ass stripping Thelma and Louise. They up to no good for real. So they must have made at least 30K, because the amount of transactions I've seen these girls make and the amount of wigs that I've seen these girls put on, I must have seen at least 5 different wigs on these girls' head. I'm gonna put a picture right here because I took a picture of one of the wigs. These girls look crazy. Autumn Night was looking like some whole neck shit. Oh yeah, Autumn Night was looking like goddamn Foxy Cleopatra with that damn wig on, boy. These girls were scamming so hard that when they were leaving the bank at one point, they had the windows down with the money in the back seat. All you see 20s flying out the window. I saw a Harriet Tubman 20 fly out the window. I haven't even seen a Harriet Tubman 20 in person yet, just money flying out the window. These bitches going crazy. Good for them, I'm glad they're making money, but honestly, I think we all know that this is gonna end bad. Like, anything like this, if you ever seen Scarface, you know. When you're making a lot of money really fast, usually things go bad pretty quickly. So what's gonna happen, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's gonna involve Montavious. He's already on to the fact that Haley is taking money out of his account, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna eventually run into her. And he's gonna want his money back, and he's gonna want to talk to this girl about where the fuck she's been, why he's been hiding from her, and why she's been hiding from him and all this shit. So we're gonna see what happens with that. So in the next scene, Autumn Night, she's driving. She drives Mercedes to this tennis court. And at first I'm wondering, why are they at a tennis court? So Mercedes is pulling up to the tennis court to go see Terica. So Terica and her, I guess, her guardian Shell. So Terica and her guardian are at the tennis courts. Terica's doing tennis lessons, trying to improve and whatever. She doesn't really like tennis. She's more so doing it because the girl, her guardian, thinks it will be good for her. So Mercedes pulls up on Terica and goes to talk to her at a tennis court. And Terica pretty much bads her up because her and Mercedes were supposed to hang out last weekend. I guess they had arranged plans to hang out, but Mercedes ended up flopping because she went to jail, as we know. Her and her mom got into a fight. So she was in jail. She didn't end up picking up Terica, and Terica was really disappointed because, as she's expressed in this episode, Mercedes has let Terica down multiple times in the past. Multiple times, Shell talks about how there's times where she has to go in the bathroom and help and comfort Terica because she's crying, tears coming down her eyes and shit. Just because with her and Mercedes, it's like, Terica wants to be with Mercedes. She likes her, she cares about her, she loves her. And the same thing goes, Mercedes loves and cares about Terica, but she just has a hard time believing in Mercedes because she's been let down so many times. All the times Mercedes like, oh yeah, we'll spend this weekend together, or oh, I'll pick you up after school, da-da-da-da-da, and she never comes through. So Terica is she doesn't really have as much faith in Mercedes as she used to, which is understandable. So pretty much Mercedes is talking to Shell, talking about how, yeah, you saw me on the news or whatever, and shit's not going right for me right now. Like, I got arrested, sure, but I'm still gonna keep fighting for Terica because I'm her real mom and I want custody. And then Shell, I fuck with Shell because she could be spiteful, because as we find out in this scene, Terica is Mercedes' daughter, and the father was Shell's ex-husband. He's dead now. His name was Cortez. What I assume happened is that Cortez was going to the strip club behind Shell's back, and him and Mercedes hooked up, maybe in the champagne room, maybe they were having an affair, and then Mercedes got pregnant. And Cortez and Shell decided to raise the baby, even though Mercedes had the kid. Because when Mercedes had the kid, she was only in her teens. I'm thinking like 18 probably, because she's maybe 18 or 16, because she's like 25 now. But I don't know, the math doesn't make sense, because Mercedes said she's 25, but she looks way older than 25. And her kid looks like 13 or older, so I don't know. Whatever, fuck it. But yeah, Mercedes trying to get back in the kid's life. That's her bastard child. Or Cortez's bastard child. Cortez is dead now. But yeah, what I was trying to say is she could be spiteful because Mercedes had a bastard child with her man. But she's actually pretty supportive. She seems like she wants to see Mercedes and Terica have a good relationship. But she also cares about Terica's well-being. So she's not just gonna hand Terica over to her when Mercedes is going to jail and shit, stripping. She's not stable, which I can understand. So in the next scene, we see Lil Murda pull up on Keyshawn, aka Miss Mississippi, and they're discussing how pretty much Miss Mississippi was walking through the back room of the Pink and saw Lil Murda and Uncle Clifford making out and shit. So she's onto the fact that they're dating on the low. She's the only person that knows right now, her and the grandma, but we'll talk about the grandma later. So Mississippi and Murda meet up at like a bench or some shit, and they just start discussing what's going on. Murda at first, he tells her like, yo, I don't know what you think's going on, but you're not finna extort me or no type of shit like that. But Keyshawn wasn't even on that. She was actually on her business shit with it, because as you guys know, Lil Murda and Keyshawn have a viral clip. It actually ended up on the World Star homepage. It's a viral clip going around of Miss Mississippi dancing and stripping and shit to Lil Murda's new song, Money Over Love, or whatever the fuck it's called. So Miss Mississippi's idea is like, using that viral video, we should pretend we're in a relationship type shit, because the whole rap game, the way it works is women want to see a man they can't have, and men want to see a guy that they want to be, or some shit like that. Mississippi said some shit like that, but it made sense. So pretty much what she's offering him is to pretend to be his girlfriend, build up his image type shit, keep collabing and letting their viral videos spark more viral videos, keep drawing more attention to both of them so they can both build up their audiences, build up their followers and shit. It makes sense, it's a good idea. So in a way, she's like his manager slash fake girlfriend. The only thing that I see going bad with this is while they're at the meeting, we see Keyshawn with a new bruise right here on this side of her face, a fresh bruise. And that just reminds me that her white boyfriend, her mayonnaise mandem, is gonna beat the shit out of her. Like, once he finds out this Lil Murda shit, how they're pretending to be in a relationship together, he's gonna lose his fucking mind. This guy's crazy, bro. He beats her for everything. Every day she goes to work, she has a new bruise, new scar. I'm worried about this bitch for real. This guy's gonna kill her. So in the next little scene, we see Uncle Clifford at his crib. This is the first time I remember seeing Uncle Clifford's crib. And Uncle Clifford goes downstairs and we get introduced to his grandma. So his grandma actually originally owned the Pink and then handed it down to him. And she's blind. She's blind and shit, but she's cool. Like, she was smoking blunts and shit. And she's kind of wise. Like, she's blind, but she knows what's going on. So Uncle Clifford is texting a Lil Murda or whatever, just flirting back and forth. And the grandma's like, yo, you should introduce me to him. I want to meet him type shit. Uncle Clifford kind of laughs it off, but yeah, so she wants to meet Lil Murda. So we'll see what happens with that. Next scene following that, we had Big L. He went to go meet up with Gidget's man. So Gidget's man is in the town, in the city. I guess he's not always in Chucalissa. I guess he moves around a lot. He's a big drug dealer. So the scene opens up with him in a hotel room with like 5 naked bitches, and they all bagging up the drugs. Some of them are doing drugs, and he's getting toppy from this one white chick. He getting toppy, so obviously he not trying to be loyal to Gidget. He just doing whatever. So He getting toppy, he high as hell off pills, he doing prescription drugs, and then here's a knock at the door. It's Big L. Big L is like the accountant of the pink. He takes care of the money and shit. Uncle Clifford helped him out. He has 2 strikes. Big L has 2 strikes. If he gets one more, he's gonna get life in prison or the death penalty. I don't know how that shit works, but pretty much him and Uncle Clifford is like this, right? So Big L knows that Uncle Clifford is strapped for cash right now and he needs to come up with 50K. So he links up with Gidget's man and he's like, yo, I got an opportunity for you. Let me hold your drugs. I'll stash your drugs for you in exchange for you paying me for that. So Gidget's man, at first, he's a bit apprehensive because he's like, how's Uncle Clifford going to feel about that shit? But Big L's like, yo, don't worry about what Uncle Clifford's going to feel about that shit. Just allow me the drugs, pay me 5K, I'll hold your drugs, and then we'll move from there. So he's making 5K for the first drug shipment, and he's going to play it from there. So I think Big L, I don't think anything bad is going to happen from this. Like, I don't think he's going to get caught and go to jail and get his 3rd strike or anything. It could happen, but I feel like he's such a minor character, they're not going to go into, like, putting him in jail and all that shit. I think what's actually going to happen is this operation that he's running with Gidget's man is going to work out, and he's going to use some of the money that he makes from working with Gidget's man to help pay off the debt on the pink. So we'll see what happens there. Always cool to see Big L irate him. In the next scene, we have Uncle Clifford at the nail salon getting his nails done. He's speaking Vietnamese with his little nail tech, so shit was funny as hell. How does Uncle Clifford know how to speak Vietnamese? I have no idea, but this guy is a man of many talents. Anyways, he's in there getting his nails done, and fucking the mayor's wife pulls up. Her name is Louise, and as it turns out, Uncle Clifford and Louise actually have a very close relationship because Louise was the first stripper that graduated from the pink. She was the first stripper that Uncle Clifford graduated from the pink, so they go way back. That's his day one for real. Like, that was his bottom bitch before Mercedes type shit. So they're at the pink and they're just chatting up about how the pink's getting foreclosed on, how her and the mayor are beefing and shit. And she talks about how Eloise tells Uncle Clifford, like, yeah, the mayor just talks bare shit to me, to my face. He doesn't respect me. And he's like, yo, Uncle Clifford's like, yo, that's fucked up. Just know, like, I've always been there for you. I always held you down. So if you find out any tea about the pink getting closed down or any deals being negotiated, make sure you let me know. And Eloise, she still cares about Uncle Clifford and the pink because she was there. Uncle Clifford helped her out a lot when she was not doing as well as she's doing now. And honestly, I think that Eloise is going to be able to play an important role with helping Clifford save the pink because she's like a fly on the wall in regards to the business deal that the mayor's trying to get off behind Uncle Clifford's back. So I think that Eloise is going to give Uncle Clifford information that he can use against the mayor to keep the pink alive. So in the next scene, we have Autumn Night and Mercedes at a diner just eating food, counting up money and shit, just chilling, kind of recapping after they had a long day of scamming. So they're just chilling or whatever, just talking, and then Andre walks into the diner too, and he comes in, he's just picking up some food, and him and Autumn Night like lock eyes type shit. They haven't spoken for a week. I guess they're kind of beefing after the way things ended off last time. So Andre comes in, picks up his food or whatever, and he actually ends up paying for Autumn and Mercedes' meal as well. And you could tell Autumn, like, she kind of misses him, but just because things are awkward right now, she doesn't say anything. So that happened. That was just a quick scene. So speaking of Andre, in the next scene, we have Andre meeting up with the farmers, the guys who own the farmland. It's 2 white guys. I think their names are Kyle and Robert or some shit. And then the third, half white guy, half black guy, he was like the bastard child of the original landowner. His name is Corbin. So in this scene, Andre is here to get the brothers to agree to sell the land to the casino. The brothers are all excited about it. The bastard child, Corbin, he doesn't look so excited about it. He doesn't look so sold. And there's a lot of slave master undertones in this scene. House slave, field slave undertones in this scene. You could tell that the 2 pure white boys, the 2 pure sons of the father, don't really respect Corbin like he's on equal footing as them. They kind of look at him as a second-class citizen. Like the brother, for example, just tells Corbin, hey Corbin, go get me another drink. Like he's his bitch or some shit like that. And Corbin gets to drink for him, and the man doesn't even say thank you or nothing. So there's a lot of resentment between the brothers and Corbin. Corbin resents the brothers because they treat him like he's not even a person, and the brothers resent Corbin because they're mad at their father for kind of stepping out of their family and cheating on their mom type shit, which makes sense. So yeah, when it comes down to sign the papers, shit gets crazy. Corbin changes his mind. He says he doesn't want to sign it. He doesn't want to sell the land. He'd rather lease the property out to the casino people so that they can keep the property in the family and then hand it down in generations, hand it down through generations to their other family members, and that money can just keep growing, which is how you build generational wealth. I agree with Corbin. I would do the same thing. The brothers, on the other hand, they're like, fuck that shit. We want to sell it. We want the money now. Fuck our dad. We hate him. So next thing you know, Corbin's supposed to sign a contract. He hesitates. The brother pulls a gun on his ass like, freeze, nigga. I'm gonna shoot your ass if you don't sign this contract. Yo ass finna get shot today. Corbin's like, Actually, he didn't even aim the gun at Corbin. He aimed it at Andre, and that part I didn't get. I don't understand why Corbin started acting scared because the brothers threatened to shoot Andre. Shouldn't they be threatening to shoot Corbin? But that's besides the point. So anyways, Corbin gets shook and eventually decides to sign the contract, even though he didn't want to sell the property. Because the brothers are holding it over his head, he decides to sign the contract. So that scene was interesting. We're going to see how that plays out. This shit is getting crazy. You could tell Andre wasn't really feeling the whole situation. He just got a gun pulled on him too, so there's no surprise there. Next small little scene, we had Uncle Clifford chilling with Lil Murda at his crib. At Uncle Clifford's crib, Lil Murda meets Grandma for the first time. They're chilling, they're hitting it off. Grandma's telling Uncle Murda some stories. Oh, Grandma's telling Lil Murda some stories. I keep calling this nigga Uncle Murda. Oh yeah, and then Lil Murda gets a text from his producer like, yo, hit the studio, let's record a song. But Lil Murda doesn't end up going because he's with Clifford, right? So he's already starting to push his career to the side and push Lil Clifford to the priority. Lil Clifford? Now I'm saying Lil Clifford. Uncle Murda and Lil Clifford. My brain, bro. My brain. But yeah, so his priorities are kind of all fucked up right now. We'll see how that impacts his music career, him not going to do sessions and choosing to chill with Uncle Clifford instead. So we'll see how that impacts his career. That was that scene. So the next scene was in the stripper room, like the stripper little lockers where the lockers are, the stripper change room. And we have a huge foreshadow in the scene. So Mississippi is just there bragging about her viral video with Murda and shit, talking about, yeah, we collabing or whatever the fuck. So she's talking all this shit. I'm tired, bro. I just woke up. I'm not tired, I'm just yawning. Yeah, she's talking all this shit, and pretty much Mississippi pulls up on Autumn Night because Autumn Night is in Mercedes' locker. And Mississippi is like, yo, what do you think Mercedes would say if she saw you going in her locker and shit? Autumn Night comes back, she's like, what do you think Mercedes would say if she saw you were taking her spot? And they kind of just exchange eye contact and shit. Autumn Night looks at Mississippi, and she can see that she has a fresh bruise from getting beat again. And she points at her gun. She's like, you see this gun? I keep it in this locker. And she gave her the combination to the locker. So I think that's foreshadowing that Mississippi's gonna have to use that gun to protect herself later from her man, because her man's gonna go crazy on her ass and shit's gonna get violent to the point where Mississippi's gonna have to pull the gun on her man. I don't think she's gonna kill her man or anything like that. I think this is what my prediction is. So this is my theory. I think that the man's gonna get mad at all this Lil Murda and Lil Mississippi like collabo type shit that's going on Instagram. He was already mad that she's working at the strip club, so I think that once he sees that shit, he's gonna get even more mad. His violence is gonna get to a level it's never been at. He's gonna beat her onto the verge of death on some J-Lo from Enough type shit. And then Mississippi's gonna grab the gun, pull it on him in self-defense, and then he's gonna be on some, you ain't gonna shoot me, you afraid, you ain't strong enough to shoot me type shit. Then he's gonna take the gun out of her hand and point it at her, and then Diamond's gonna save her. just like I called from the first episode, Diamond is gonna save this bitch. I'm sticking to it. I still think Diamond is gonna come through and save this bitch, bro, because this guy is everywhere at all times. So next scene, we find out that Haley's daughter's name was Autumn. We find this out because Mercedes and Haley are chilling at Mercedes' crib, just talking about the day, what they're gonna do next in regards to their scamming and shit, how they can hide the money. And Autumn and her just start talking about daughters bonding. Mercedes shows Autumn her room that she was building for Terica. She's been building this room for 7 years now. And they just bond over like their relationships with their daughters. As you guys know, Haley's daughter passed away in the flood, so she gets kind of depressed and shit. Mercedes is kind of depressed because she doesn't have custody of her daughter, so that was just a depressing scene. It was pretty quick too. Oh yeah, next scene after that, we see Lil Murda and Miss Mississippi in the studio with all Lil Murda's boys and shit. And like Miss Mississippi's putting on for the gram. She's making videos and shit. Like she's promoting Murder Night. And the boys are all happy and shit because the song's taking off. But the producer reminds him, he's like, yo, you need to make a next song because your fans are going to want another song. Yeah, you have one song that's blowing up, but you need another one. Otherwise, these niggas are going to forget about you. And Lil Murda is not taking this shit serious because he's missing studio sessions where he could be making the next hit that the fans are waiting for to go chill with Uncle Clifford. His priorities are not in order. And I think this is going to lead to the decline of his music career. And I also see Miss Mississippi's decline in her virality. I feel like people are going to get tired of both of them. And we're going to see how they adjust to coming back down a little bit. They're kind of getting famous, but I feel like they're going to have to adjust to coming back down a little bit because Lil Murda's not focused on his music and Miss Mississippi is not working on her stripping and she's kind of getting a big ego. So we'll see what happens. In the next scene, we have Andre FaceTiming his wife. This guy is completely over his wife. He's fully into Haley now. He's trying to talk to his wife about all his like great things he wants to do because he's decided that because the farm boys are treating Corbin so bad that he's gonna go through and not buy the land from them, but allow them to lease him the land so that Corbin can keep it in the family as he wants to. This is against the White brothers' wishes, but Andre's trying to do something for the quote-unquote greater good, as he calls it. So he's trying to tell his wife all this shit, and you know, as a man, whenever you're doing good stuff, you like to share this with your significant other so you can hear how they feel about it. And she's kind of putting him down, talking about, oh, why would you do that? Your boss isn't going to be happy about this shit. She's telling him like, oh, you need to hurry up and come back to Atlanta. You don't belong in Chucalissa, you belong here type shit. And you can tell Andre's kind of put off by this. He was already kind of pulling back from his wife and pulling into Haley, but this just made him pull back more. And I think that because his wife isn't supporting him, I think that Haley is going to support him. I think that she is going to support his dreams and like tell him like, oh yeah, what you're doing is right, and his wife's telling him what he's doing is wrong, and that's just gonna make him get even closer to Haley. So we're gonna see what happens between those two. The next scene, we're back at the Pink and Louise comes to visit Uncle Clifford and all the girls. So Louise gets straight to it. She doesn't waste any time, starts spilling the tea, starts spilling all the tea that she has on the deal, what's going on, what the mayor wants to do, because she's always in the room. She's hearing everything that the mayor's talking about. She's just a fly on the wall. So because she still respects Uncle Clifford and is and grateful to her for all this shit that Uncle Clifford has done for her, she spills all the tea. Uncle Clifford is learning information, and I think this is going to continue to go on as we progress through the season. I think Eloise and Uncle Clifford are going to work together to keep the Pink open somehow. Yeah, that's my prediction. The next scene after that, Uncle Clifford does something I never would have expected. I have no idea what he was thinking. I don't understand how this is gonna help, but Uncle Clifford bails fucking bitch ass Patrice out of jail. Her bitch ass, though. That bitch, he bails her out of jail. I don't know why the fuck he did that. Now Patrice owes Uncle Clifford a favor. That part I get. But like, what favor could Patrice possibly offer this guy that's gonna affect keeping the Pink open? I can't think of it. If you guys have any predictions, let me know in the comments. because I really don't know what the fuck he's trying to do, but whatever. He bailed Patrice out of jail. He bailed Mercedes out of jail. He's dog the bounty hunter when it comes to bail, dog. So in the next scene after that, this is the second last scene. Haley calls Andre on the phone, and she thanks him for paying for her and Mercedes dinner. And she's just trying to tell Andre pretty much everything the opposite of what the wife said. So as I said, I predicted that Haley was gonna support Andre on everything that he was going through, all the stuff that he was doing, and I was right. Haley is telling him, you belong in Chucalissa, you're doing great things, yada da da da, you're on the right path. And you could tell Andre really needed to hear that after his wife put him down so much. So him and Haley continue to get closer and closer. We're gonna see what happens with them. I feel like he's gonna leave his wife for this girl, cause I don't know, man. He's giving me those vibes. Him and his wife are not on the same page as they used to be, and him and Haley just keep getting closer and closer. So in the last scene of the show, we find out that Haley's full name is Haley Colton because there's a missing person sign posted up by the gas station, and it has her information on it. I'll put the missing people sign here so you guys can see it. But yeah, so we find out her full name is Haley Colton, and the police are looking for her. There's a missing person report that's been filed by Montavious Hill because he's looking for her. He has some business to settle with this bitch. So in the next episode, we're gonna see probably more Montavious Hill. Probably gonna see some more scamming from Thelma and Louise over there. Uncle Clifford, Louise gonna get a bit more close. They're gonna keep talking and shit. Probably gonna have an appearance from the mayor. More business deals going on. Yeah, so a lot of shit's gonna keep coming. The next episode should be good, episode 7. I'm looking forward to it. I think it comes out August 30th, but I heard that the episode leaked online. I'm not gonna watch the leak. So you guys are free to watch the leak, enjoy it. Let me know if it's any good. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the leak. I'm gonna wait till the episode comes out and I'm just gonna watch it normally, and then I'll put up a reaction recap for y'all. So yeah, like the video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see next. How'd y'all feel about this episode? Episode 6, season 1, P Valley. Anyways, that's all for me today. Have a good one, guys. Peace.